Now, the next play is what you have dialed up.
Yes, the very next play, and this is one of several for one of the better deep ball receivers in the league, Tim Patrick. You guys laughed at me. You laughed at me. I tried to tell you. Go ahead and play this one. We'll get to it.
Third down at 21. You don't want to make any mistakes here. Shotgun snap. They fake the draw. Locke loads it up. Home run ball right side. He's got a receiver there. Patrick makes the catch. It is a catch. He takes a big shot into the New England bench.
Yeah, he took a little bit of a gut shot there, but he was fine later on. Tim Patrick, over the course of the last 2 games, has 10 catches on 15 targets for 224 yards and a touchdown. He's one of the better deep ball receivers in the league, big play receivers in the league right now, and especially in terms of what he's averaging per catch. He's one of the top 5 in terms of average depth of target and where quarterbacks are targeting him. And, oh, by the way, that's with guys like Driscoll and Rippon throwing him the ball, not just Locke. So Tim Patrick, it's kind of funny. Somebody on Twitter was telling me yesterday he's the best wide receiver 4 in the game right now, and I'm like, well, you're not wrong. But I tried to tell you guys it was going to be Patrick, Sutton, and Judy with the plan for this thing, and Tim Patrick's better than everybody thinks he is. Just get him going. Well, now he's going, and now that's going to free up Judy and Hamler and all these other guys a little later on, because now teams got to pay attention to Tim Patrick. They got to defend Tim Patrick. You can't one-on-one him anymore. And they weren't even one-on-oneing him with their best corner.
No.
They were trying. The game plan was to shut down Judy. And so what you're going to see now is teams start to change their coverage patterns. They're going to go after Patrick, and it's going to free Judy up over the next couple of games. So fantasy people who want a little information, there you go.
Tim Patrick caught that 41-yarder on the first drive, and this was the first drive of the second half. And what I loved about it was 3rd and 21. It was an important moment. Now, they ended up finishing off that drive with a field goal. But the fact is, at that moment, after Drew Lock got sacked, you're just like, oh, man, 3rd and 21.
You need a big play on 3rd down. Tim Patrick is your guy, period.
That's what he does. All right, let's go to yours next here, because I think I want to finish off with the really positive, the uber positive play here. So let's do yours here before we get to mine.
All right, let's go ahead and get to this one. This is the second interception from Drew Lock.
Denver starts with an attached tight end, 3 receivers wide left. Snap, and Locke's going to throw on 1st down. Locke loads it up, throws the home run ball, middle of the field, and that ball will be intercepted by the Patriots. He wanted Tim Patrick, and that ball intercepted. It was Jonathan Jones.
Jones had been much maligned throughout the game as Drew Lock was trying to pick on him. I don't think he saw him on that play as he undercut the ball. Didn't get enough on it to where Tim Patrick could have a better play at it. My question there wasn't, what was Drew doing, what was Tim Patrick doing. My question was, what was Pat Shurmur doing? They threw 2 home run balls they didn't need to throw. It was time to bleed the clock. You're under 5 minutes with the ball in a game where you've been doing nothing but kicking field goals. Keep the ball out of the Patriots' hands. Run the football. Phil Lindsay has been going for 5 or 6 a carry every time. Run the football. Bleed the clock. When you get to that point in the game, your enemy is no longer the scoreboard. It is the clock. And that's what you have to learn. And I'll give you an example of this and step outside this game for a second. Mike Vrabel is a master of manipulating the clock. Mike Vrabel sent 12 guys on the field on defense and took a penalty on 2nd and 1 to buy himself a timeout because he knew the clock would stop on the flat and give his team a better chance. At 2nd and 1, Houston was going to convert anyway. So they gave him a free 1st down to buy themselves a timeout with 5 yards. You've got to be savvier about the clock at the end of the game. We've talked about the timeouts with Vic Fangio and all that kind of stuff, and that's fine. And I see what they were trying to do, and I get that, and a lot of people don't. I want to rehash that. What I do want to say is an offensive coordinator who's been in the league over 2 decades should know better than to be throwing there, run the bleeping ball.
Yeah, and maybe that's just part of the development here. It's part of the learning process. You know that Vic Fangio likes to be aggressive, and in this case, maybe Pat Shurmur's told Drew Lock, if you see this opportunity, go ahead and take care of it because we can win the game basically in that play. But there's a certain amount of understanding. You're on the road, there's the circumstances, and you had success running the ball. So even if they load up the box, which they were going to, because everybody in the stadium, at least the ones that are allowed, knew that you were going to run the ball there. So yeah, it may not result in a big play, but you got to have to do some body shots here, because if the Patriots would have driven back down the field and scored the go-ahead touchdown, that would have been the play that everybody was talking about today. Luckily for us, it's just a footnote.
Yep.
And finally, this was this was a spectacular moment. This was basically the end of the game. It's 4th and 10 at the Broncos' 24-yard line. And the Patriots need to get 10 yards, obviously get to the Denver 14 to keep the drive going. There's about a minute left, and this is what happened.
4th and 10. They've got to reach the Bronco 14, 24-yard line of scrimmage. Same set. See if Denver brings some pressure. They do. Safety blitz on the way. Newton in the pocket. Hit as he throws, loads it up, and it's incomplete. Denver's defense with a huge stop. Receiver was open, N'Keal Henry. The ball was behind him, fortunately. Devontae Bosby on the coverage, and Denver simply must take a knee 3 times to end this game.
So Harry did come open, but it was what Vic Fangio did in that play. We talked about it with Dave just a little bit ago. Brought 2 safety, a double safety blitz, and 7 guys he committed to getting to Cam Newton. And by the way, the Patriots actually did a pretty good job picking it up overall. Left 4 back, you had, I think it was Duke Dawson kind of just roaming there in the middle of the field, watching in case a running back decided to creep out from behind the backfield. But basically man coverage behind him. And otherwise,
double safety, fire 0. It's a blitz that Vic doesn't normally run. And here's why it's so brilliant. Not because it worked on that play, but because now every team that knows the book on Vic Fangio is that he doesn't bring pressure late in games now has to turn the page to a blank page on that book. Kansas City can't sit there and expect the Broncos to run, rush 3 guys and drop 8. They're not going to run, drop 8 coverage anymore at the end of games. Or they might, but you don't know that they're going to do that, and you can't bank on that and try to draw up plays designed for that.
Exactly. And they've obviously changed the amount of blitzing. I mean, weeks 1 through 3, 19%, 29th in the league. But the last 2 weeks, 29.3%, 5th in the league in blitz rate. The Broncos have been dialing up the blitz. It's been working. They got 3 turnovers yesterday. And in this case, it resulted in what would have been the end of the game because Harry did come open, and I don't think if you send that many guys, Cam Newton has enough time. He's going to complete that pass.
Yeah, Bosby was there. They probably would have stopped him from short of the end zone, but they probably would have completed the pass.
Yep, they would have gotten at least the first down.